I read somewhere recently that like people aren't even getting hired off talent anymore. It's just the ability to execute and know that you're going to be able to do it and they can count on you. I'm trying to break generational curses on this end. You feel me? You know, so that you know, my daughter has everything that I didn't have, and you know, I feel like in that regard, I'm at peace. My grandfather, rest in peace. If he would say, pick up a penny, because if you walk by and you don't pick it up, you're telling the universe you don't want money.
Sliding in the studio, on my album coming soon. Until we get this rap money, trap gon' have to boom. These bricks and these keys and these zips is what we'll do. If you need some fire, I could see you off the June.
On one of the earliest episodes of the podcast, because at the end of the episode, we always play this game, the Big Three Draft, where we pick the best or worst or something.
Okay.
Three. And on episode 12,
I'm the worst of that.
No, episode 11 with my boy Mars and Jax, we did best 3 sauces. And after the draft, my boy Jax was like, bro, but honorable mention to the bomb from Hot Ones, because it messes everybody up. It's a crazy sauce. And then he told me, we did an episode the other day, and he was like, yo, I have a surprise for you before we started filming. And then towards the end of the episode, he says, yo, I'm ready for the surprise. I got excited. I was like, damn, I love surprises. And he's like, yo, but it's not what you expect. It's not that kind of surprise. And then he pulled it out with some little galletitas.
Damn, you guys tore it up?
Yeah.
How was it? Insane?
It was bad, yeah. It was bad. Yeah, just thinking about it, I have PTSD kind of, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I don't want to do that. I do like the Hot One salsa, though. They have a good one. The Calientes is really good fire.
Yeah, the ones they sell are like, you know.
They're fucking phenomenal.
Edible,
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
the
they're actually
lighter
very
sauces.
well flavor profiled fucking sauces.
Yeah, I love spicy food. Yeah, hell yeah.
All right.
And I love y'all for checking back in. Thanks. Welcome back, folks. Another day, another podcast. It's the Aircast. Today, we have a special guest. Dad filmed it in the building, but we start with the important questions because the fans, the world, the air support, everybody wants to know. What did you mean when you said everything is a photograph?
That's my philosophy when trying to frame any music video or any piece of art or any type of visual content. My approach in filming it or trying to capture it is going, every moment is a photograph. So if it looks like this photograph that you would just look at, like that's aesthetically pleasing when you're looking at the LCD screen, then I feel like you're doing a good job. And then so that's kind of like a philosophy. But I feel it's like somebody else has said that before. Like, you know, I'm sorry. Every frame is a photograph.
Every frame, word.
Every frame is every frame is a photograph. So that's how I've approached. I try to. And I'm definitely not, you know, the best at it, but I genuinely, that's my first foot forward. Is like, yo, I'm gonna try to capture this like a photograph. If that makes sense.
Every inch, yeah. Everything matters. Every second, every bit. Every frame, every
That's
pixel.
crazy that you remember that quote. When did I say that? I remember I said that. You're something else, bro.
Your dad filmed it. We're supposed to remember.
Oh God.
Yeah, we got Dad filmed the visits Brooklyn. What's a future destination you'd like to do? Is this gonna be something that some more type of content you're gonna start doing, like travel vlogs, like Dad filmed it? You know.
Nah, I mean I feel like when I travel, I just post a lot of stuff on my story, and that's just for my friends. And yeah, but I'm not trying to be an influencer right now. No.
Oh no, but just like, you know, that.
But I do film things, and I do edit them while I'm on vacation, or if I'm, you know, in another city at work, I'll definitely film things for myself, and then I'll edit it in a creative way, or how I edit things for myself. And then sometimes I'll post it, and then if you notice, like, I mean, maybe you don't, but like a lot of times I'll post something, I'll leave it on there for an hour, and I just archive it.
You take it off, right? So
I just archive it. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, and I would have spent like 2 hours editing it, but to me it was more just like, oh, it was just practice in the process of doing something that I love to do.
Yeah, just because you take it down doesn't mean it's lost, but you still gain something from it. A lot of people will look at that like it's a waste. But can you talk to the psychology behind archiving it? Well, what do you think about that? Why are you archiving it? Is it like it's in my opinion, it's aesthetic, right? Is it aesthetic? Is that the right word?
Actually, I heard somewhere, I think a rapper friend of mine told me, if you delete it, Instagram kind of treats you like, you know, you're like spam or something like that.
Oh, don't delete.
So what I do is I archive it, so it's always in the system, but it's just something that, like, so Instagram reads it like, oh, he's just, you know, maybe repositioning his friend. I don't know, bro. Like,
that's smart though. That's technical. That's great. That's a cool ass answer. It's way better than aesthetic. That's what
Working in the music industry and with labels and stuff like that, and some A&Rs, you get some insider, like, you know, tips and stuff when you're hanging out with friends. Like, yeah, don't do that, bro, because if not, you're never gonna get seen. You know, if that's your intention on social media.
Listen, I think the stat came out the other day. It's like over 50% of kids nowadays in school, their dream job is being a content creator. So technically, you know, this is advice for everybody, but at least 50% of kids and so many people, because you have to understand the algorithms and how to basically, you know, get the most out of it, especially if you're putting content out. So whether it's an ad, a commercial, a picture, whatever the case may be. But speaking of different industries, your last job was as a parts consultant?
How do you know this? Yes. Yeah, I used to work for a very big car company, and I was a parts consultant for like 8-9 years before I finally made the leap into creative directing and, you know, doing the things that I do.
Financial freedom for creating content full time.
I'm a full-time creative. I make art for a living.
That's crazy. And what we can what's the story like? What's the moment you do that? Like, are you getting? You're touring by the time you quit that job? Like, what's going on in life? Like, just to kind of paint a picture for those listening. Like, what's the pushing point that you're like, dog? All right, that's it. I just got to go full force here.
Honestly, I felt like I was at that time in my life while I was working there, I was making a lot of money. I had gotten out of the military. I never went to college or anything like that. So to get a job that would pay me close to $120,000 to $150,000 a year to do what I was doing, it was a big blessing in my life at that time. But on the other end, I felt like I got caught up and I became a slave to a tax bracket, because I could never now leave that job or pursue something that maybe would be more fulfilling, because in life you never want to go backwards, as far as your financial movements and whatnot. So I felt trapped, and I felt that the only thing I could do would be to just every single waking moment to go on YouTube, study a new tutorial, and try to apply whatever I was trying to learn into something tangible, whether it was something I would film of my daughter or something I was filming with a artist friend of mine, etc., etc. And I did that. So on my lunch hours, I was just nonstop. And then I started getting recognized, I guess, for different things, and I eventually started touring. Shout out Brai, he's a pop and very dope artist from Puerto Rico. He took me on tour to Colombia. He took me to Spain with him, and I remember at that time I had taken vacation time from the job I was working, and when I came back, I was making good money at that time in the art thing, and I realized I was making just about the same on the art end as I was on the 9-to-5 life. And so at that point, some guy some mechanic came up to me, started arguing with me, and he was just blah blah. And I remember just thinking, I was like, man, I was just experiencing a whole nother side of the world and life and what's capable off of what hard work can do in this field and in the creative fields that I want to be involved in. And I was just living that life, and I was living it at the pinnacle of what I thought you could live at, where you can reach it, because we were playing in front of huge crowds, and you're in rooms with big people. So to me, it was just like, when this guy started coming at me, I'm like, well, number one, you're a bitch, but number two, you're bitter about your life, and I'm still here, and I'm here feeling away right now because I'm making this conscious decision to do this, and I'm 1 foot in on this, but 1 foot in on the other thing. So I was like, fuck it, and I just jumped. And I asked my manager to come as he was bitching at me, and I was like, hey, look, I just want you to save your energy. Tara, I'm putting my 2 weeks in. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm like, save the energy, bro. I hope you have an amazing lunch and a great life. And he was like, you too, man. And that was it. So it just proved to me in that moment, whatever he was pissed off about in that moment, bitching at me and what was making me feel away, it was just because of his position in life. And it was from a lack of taking that step, whether it was scary or not. And I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I've been doing it, knock on wood or whatever, I've been doing it now for 5-6 years. So I hope I can make it to a decade. And if I don't, then you know what? I had a great run. I've lived a lot of life, and I'm grateful for the experiences that I've had. But I just hope I can keep on doing it. I'm gonna keep on working. That's my intention.
That's an incredibly well-worded answer, man. And thanks for sharing that, vulnerability and honesty, because at the end of the day, we a lot of people feel trapped, I'm blessed to have my dad who's been in the entertainment industry my whole life. So I've always had these, delusions of grandeur, I guess you could say, for lack of better.
1,000%. Yeah, mine too. So yeah, I feel that.
And I think that's a really cool thing that we relate on in that sense. But you grow up always thinking, there's more to life than this. But I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that outside looking in, they're like, how the fuck, you know, like how do I get out of this, you know? And it's like, you could
I feel like and growing up in Kendall and even just in Miami, there's like you're constantly around these two different extremes, right? Which is like extreme wealth or like, you know, like extreme poverty.
Extreme
and I was like caught like, you know, just kind of like, you know, luckily and blessed enough to be kind of, you know, in that middle area, you know, very middle. And so you make a decision in that life. You're like, you're gonna go one way or you're gonna go the other. And I was always just like, the money always just kind of called to me, that bigger lifestyle, that life of grandeur, those you know, those champagne dreams,
right?
You know, that's really what drove me towards that.
That's true too. Not only the dad thing that we deal with, but also the Miami thing, because that is true. I'm sure outside looking in, most average, you know, for lack of better terms, I hate the word civilian, but like people that aren't creating content and just, you know, work a 9 to 5 and just you know, they don't have any interest in creating art. They're just consuming art.
Consuming it, yeah.
I'm sure those people also también look at the, you know, the celebrity lifestyle, and the fast-paced, you know, high-rich lifestyle of, you know, so, you know, whatever.
I mean, the lifestyle's pretty fucking hollow. I've been around that lifestyle. I've been around a lot of celebrities. I gotta tell you, it's pretty fucking hollow. My dream is to, you know, end up on a farm with a bunch of fucking things, and be far enough or close enough where I can drive into the city and have a good time on the weekend, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Then just be out the way. Other than that, if I'm not working or not traveling. But
and the hood homestead, you would want to do it in like Miami, or like where would you have your farm at?
I would say maybe like Redlands area, you know what I mean? I'd have my on-site Juanito there, you know, a Pepe with a machete, just killing snakes and shit.
But look, you're not leaving, basically. You're not leaving.
You know what I mean? And I'm chilling there, and then you know, I got plans, bro. I got chickens. I love chickens. I don't know if y'all ever heard of silky chickens, but I want a bunch of those silky chickens. They're these fancy little beautiful chickens, and I want and also I want pause. But huevos are phenomenal, right? So you get like, you know, good chickens with great huevos. There's blue huevos, there's brown huevos, there's white huevos. You know, I'm not even trying to be funny right now, but yeah,
all huevos matter.
All huevos matter. Quail eggs, the small huevitos. There is, you know, the huevo game is, you know, and huevos are expensive right now. You know, so I don't see anything bad with putting up a chicken coop. You know what I mean? Having some beautiful silky chickens. You know, being out the way. You know what I mean? Having your ting there. You know. Living a good life, you know what I mean, and that's it, man. But I mean, I don't know if I'll get there. Who knows? But I hope so. We manifesting, baby.
Real G shit. And so that's one era. The you know, kind of leaving, you know, basically the work life, I guess, the corporate America life, for lack of better terms, and then going full force into content creation. Let's take it back a little bit even further about another era. And what you've discussed, how you said you had a wild era in your life that made you go to the Navy and made you join the military. What was do you have one specific moment that, you know, in your mind that was like, yo, I gotta get out of here? Like, what's that breaking point? Because it's one thing to quit your working forever and go full force into your art and your crafts when you got money coming in. Military is like, especially as somebody who grows up looking at art, because that's, you know, anybody who serves respect, and like, you know, but it's just I you know, with, you know, I've the conspiracy theorists in me, and it's like it's a lot of crazy shit. So it's like, damn, man, like I gotta take care of my family out here first before, you know, getting blown to pieces. So that's why I completely respect anybody who joins the military. So like, what's the psychology behind that?
I mean, I'm not brave. Shout out to anybody that's, you know, served. Thank you.
Real shit. Real shit.
I didn't go for any like real patriotic reasons. I do love this country, you know, and I'm glad that I went, and I'm happy I served. I just want to say that forefront. God bless America and everyone in it.
It's post 9/11, right? Of course, yeah. Because
this is right after 9/11. This was
right after.
Right after, yeah. 9/11 happened in 2001. I won in 2005.
Okay, so that's part of an influence. Like 9/11, they're still making movies about, like, you know, the wars and shit. And like Jarhead comes out in 2006. So like war was really prevalent at that part of my childhood. Like just as a kid.
Oh no, I signed up.
Media.
Yeah, I signed up during a time of war. So right, and you get like a little goofy medal or whatever.
That's true too. Signing up at a time of war.
I signed up, but they gave me, you know, a good bonus. Shout out the United States Navy, you know. Shout out everyone out there on deployment. Hope y'all get back safe.
Wow.
God bless y'all and your families. But the reason I went out there is my father ran a hip hop label growing up. He was a musician.
Chicago, Illinois, or
no, it was down here in Miami, Florida. But he had a group. He had a record label called Four Horsemen Records, and he had a group. He had a group on it called Illinois.
Got it. That's what it is.
Yeah, they were a rap group, and no, but he, you know, so I grew up. I was real cool. I was always around artists. I was around the music. I was always real interested in art. I was always a musician first, before I even started doing videos and, you know, content creation. And but that lifestyle is real crazy, and we were around some real deal rappers and trappers and some real go-getters, and in that is drugs and women and fast money. And in those drugs, I was this young kid, living off the success of that my father had built for himself in regards of the career choices he made. And it didn't feel like anything I had got. And then we were both I was kind of doing drugs in those days, and Perico was my thing of choice and
you were recording music at the time?
Yeah, I was on tours. We were going on, I was doing music. I was going on tours with hardcore bands.
But you're performing on tour?
Yeah. And then
wow.
at that time I had came back. But I mean, these are not nice tours, dude. This is in the
yeah,
back of someone's van.
Okay.
You ain't sleeping. You're sleeping at at Motel 8, Roaches. You know what I'm saying? This is not but we were out there and we were we're gonna go out there. But whatever. And me and him we were doing cocaine together one day in the studio. And I just remember he did a line, I did a line, and then he had coke on his beer, and he looks at me, he's like, I think you have a coke problem. And I was just kind of what the fuck? And I had this gift where I can kind of walk to the cliff at the edge of life, you know what I mean? And then if I don't like what I see at the, when I look down, I take 2,000 feet, step back. So I thought, what's the most extreme thing I could do in that moment? I was as this artist, I was yo, I'm gonna go join the military. Wow. Maybe it could bring something, maybe it could because I'm just job to job right now. I'm on these shitty tours, not making any money, and I'm here doing drugs, and I'm not doing it. I'm not bringing any value or any meaning to my life, and I feel hollow. So, same way I felt at that 9 to 5. I get to a point where if I feel hollow in something, I'm just gonna I'm gonna try to change that, and I'm gonna try to bring some meaning into it.
So, I don't know if this is the fat kid in me, but one of the questions I want to ask, just to paint a bit of a better picture, in this time, are you fit even though you're doing drugs? Are you a guy that you're also how old are you?
No, I was
you're
a
little bit
18.
after high school, right?
Yeah,
18,
I was 18.
So 18, 19. So
yeah, hell yeah. No,
so
I
you're
was
working out and shit. You're
yeah, I was in good shape, and then the thing about me too that was different is I would play in these hardcore bands or punk bands, and everyone was dressed
high energy.
Yeah, but everyone was dressing real shitty, punk rock. They were you go to these punk rock shows, they look like they're punk rockers. You go to a hardcore show, they look like they're these hardcore kids. They dress a certain way. I would go in there with button down Versace's, shit open, fresh fades, the fucking. So they were and then I would go up on stage and I start screaming, and they're like, "What the fuck are we looking at?" You know what I mean? Yeah. So they were just but
that's cool.
It was a juxtaposition. You know what I'm saying? I was
plot twist.
Yeah,
that's wild. Okay, and then so talk to me about the time in the Navy. Do you have to so how hard is it joining the Navy? It's anybody do you have to pass a fitness exam to get in, or is
yeah, you do 2 months of boot camp, and I did it in Great Lakes, Illinois. It's near Chicago, and
hardest part about boot camp.
I'm sorry. I did take the ASVAB.
What's the ASVAB?
It's kind of it's a knowledge test basically it's a ranking test. You take it, and based off of how well you do, they decide your rate, which is your job. And so sometimes you're just not the brightest or the sharpest tool in the shed, and they'll have you as a janitor on a ship.
So what kind of questions are on this? Is this general curriculum, math, English, everything?
Yeah, everything. And then there's also psychology or aspect to it. It's nothing too crazy, you know what I'm saying? But
right,
just a
general IQ test.
Yeah,
right.
general kind of IQ test, but tailored in a specific way that I guess calls to the higher forces that be in the military.
Do they go into I guess in social interaction questions, what would you do in this situation type shit, is it all multiple choice?
There is a psychology aspect of it, in a certain portion, if I'm not correct. It was years ago, brother.
How would you? Okay, got it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you what my answers were or what it was.
You as somebody who's partying hard, doing drugs, wilding out, but physically in shape. What's the hardest part about boot camp in those 2 months?
The psychology of it, of you know what I mean, that you're you're away from home, you're around a bunch of strangers in this tiny room, you're getting screamed at every day. But if you understand, which I did, going into it, that it's kind of it's good for you. They break you down and they make you feel like a piece of shit, and it's but low key if they're good at what they're doing. And luckily I had a good instructors, the chief and everybody that was with me, they build you back up at the end of it. And you have to, throughout boot camp, it was the psychological thing where you have to wear this hat that says recruit, but then you would see the people that had already done boot camp, right, which felt at the time this very challenging thing. You would see the people that had already passed boot camp and they were wearing the hat that would say Navy. So you were damn, I want to get that fuck. I don't want to be just a recruit this. And there's like these little things. So finally, like after you pass the, the big final exam, which, like the big physical test, which takes like, it's a 48-hour like long thing. And like, it's just crazy. It's like whatever. After you pass out, you walk into a room and the hats that say Navy are piled up like in this like, epic,
like a mountain,
like a prism, like a fucking pyramid, and you're like, wow. But bro, you're like 48 hours, you're like bleeding, you're like exhausted, you're standing in this line in this ballroom after having been through hell. And like, I'm like, I was barely like awake, bro. But I got that hat and I remember feeling like, all right, I fucking did it. But I mean, it's just the psychology of it. Like, you just gotta understand, you gotta be strong. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta move with intent. And you just can't be a bitch. I don't know. Like, a lot of these bitches, they just drop down. Like somebody call 111, bro.
You saw a lot of 111. I love that. Yes, that's a great term. People keep asking me, yo, what are y'all even on in these episodes? Like, how do we go from deep convos to wild jokes to life advice and back in 30 seconds flat? Let me put you on game. We're on Canna Kings. Whether it's CBD, Delta 8, or THCA, they got that top shelf, lab tested, smooth hitting goodness. No paranoia, no couch lock, no bad vibes. Just that clean, focused flow that lets the creativity flow and the comedy hit. So if you rock with the pod, support the squad, head over to cannakingsco.com. Load up your cart and use promo code UBTHCCrew at checkout for a little royalty level discount. Canna Kings, we're on it. And now you could be too. See you on Cloud 9. You saw a lot of people quit?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Give me like a ratio. Like, what was your starting class amount of people, and how many people you think fell out by the end? Or better yet,
it wasn't
how many
like
people
drastic.
graduated?
I mean, it wasn't like drastic, bro. But like in our class, like I would say, like we had like 50 people. When we started, and it was like 28.
At the end, okay,
yeah.
Like a little bit, under.
Yeah, I mean, people were just dropping like flies for a little bit there for different reasons, though. It's not always just about being a bitch. You can get sick, and you have to perform certain qualifications at a specific day. So if you just so happen to be sick on that day and you missed that qualification, well, guess what? You just got sent back a week. You know what I mean? And you have to redo that entire week of boot camp because you have to do that qualification. So luckily, the times that I would get sick out there, because Chicago weather's bipolar. It's like I was lucky that it wasn't during the qualifications that I needed to do. Like you get maced, you get pepper sprayed, you have to do your shooting cows, your shooting quals, you just do a bunch of shit.
So you went to Chicago to do the whole entire boot camp. The whole entire process is in Chicago.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah. You gotta finish it, and then once I finished it, they sent me out to Tallahassee. No, it was Jacksonville, aviation school up in like Jacksonville, and that was
aviation. Oh, because you got to learn like I guess.
Or Pensacola. It was Pensacola. Sorry guys, but it was a while ago, guys. It was a while ago. But they sent me out to aviation school in Pensacola, which got me ready for my job, which I worked on the flight decks, fielding aircraft, and then after that they sent me out to San Diego, and then after that I did 3 deployments, and then after
flash filmed it. Relax.
And
you worked on a flight deck filling aircraft. What does that mean? You're on like a big tanker thing, like in Top Gun. Like
yeah. I lived on one of those for like 3 years.
You lived on one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is pulling hose a reference to that?
I literally pulled hose on that ship because I have photos I could show you, but like I was.
We'll drop one right here for them.
But yeah, I just dropped. I was just pulling hose because that's what we did. We were taking care of all the fueling systems on the flight deck and making sure that the Cobras, the Sea Dragons, the Harriers, jets that we
These
had.
Are jets?
The Harriers.
I'm about to drop them one by one.
No, that's cool. The Harriers are jets that are capable
of
a vertical landing. They take off straight, but the Harriers are capable of vertical landing. Cobras are absolute destroying machines. They are tiny little helicopters that carry tons and tons of ordnance, and they are just fucking little velociraptors of the helicopter game. Sea Dragons are these kind of like huge, double-propelled, they kind of look like Wawas, and basically those are usually used to drop off like goods and stuff like that. Or
what do you mean a Wawa? Like a bus?
Like a bus, I'm sorry. Yeah, like a Cuban, typical Miami artist right here. Yeah, La Wawa.
I'm sure white people are going to be like, they're going to imagine the story. Like, what does it mean a story?
Yeah.
But yeah, so listen, all right. And then 3 years living there, and what makes you leave? Are you just like, yo, do you miss
no,
the
no, man. I'm a squared away individual. I did this special thing called National Call to Service, where you're supposed to do 15 months active duty, and then you do like 8 years reserve time, and they give you like a $5,000 signing bonus. I was in the middle of one of my deployments when those 15 months had ended, and I wanted an extension. They allowed me it. I did that extension, so it was like it capped out at about around like 3.5 years, and and then I got out after my 3rd deployment, and I went to Australia for a bit, and then I came back to Miami when I found out I was having some little brothers that were being born.
Wow, Australia. What are you doing in Australia? Just having fun, partying?
Yeah, I was bar backing. I installed some solar panels. Just living.
Sold solar panels?
Installed.
Installed. Oh, okay, installed. Got it. And then, what part of Australia?
It was Perth, Fremantle, and Hobart, Tasmania.
Hobart, Tasmania.
Yeah, it's on on the southern end of Australia.
Is the Tasmanian devil based on an actual animal?
Yes, it is. And it is based in Australia. I didn't see one there. I did see a wild koala in my time out there, and those things are fucking gnarly. They hang out on trees. Yeah, they smell like shit, and then they make these evil sounds like. No. So when it's late at night and they're up in the trees, you know what I mean? And you look up and you see these like little Satan eyes looking at you, and they're like, follow me. And I'm like, no, man.
Koalas?
I'm just trying to go get a Guinness, bro. Chill out, koala.
They be looking
Chill
so
out,
cute.
bro. Yeah, nah, man. They're stinky little chlamydia-filled fucks.
Chlamydia?
Yeah, bro, they're
dirty
nasty.
boys. They're
dirty, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I met one koala out there named Yanni Slade. He was crazy. I'm just kidding. That's comedy. All right, let's go. Move on. We're over in the military. I was in the military.
Did you see a lot of roos? Did you see a lot of kangaroos?
No.
No? What was the craziest animal you've seen besides the koalas? Just koalas? Those are pretty wild? Because we got iguanas out here. Like, people aren't used to iguanas anyway.
Huh?
Are the koalas violent?
No.
I mean, they didn't attack me, none. But I mean, like, there were some gnarly spiders I saw while I was out there.
How would a koala attack? Like, how does it even defend itself? Like, they're all.
I mean, just the most disgusting thing that I saw while I was out there, and it's not even an animal. It's the people that eat it. They're all fucking animals. Over there in Australia, the Burger King is called Hungry Jack's, right? And they put beets in the Whopper.
Beets? Like the fruit? Or
The purple slice of beet. And it's wet, and they put it in the Whopper, and then they have a name for it. You guys can Google it.
Hold on.
You guys are animals for liking that. I'm sorry. Hey.
Hear me out.
Hey, take me to bad opinion jail, but you guys are animals. Go to church.
Listen, man, I haven't tried it. As a lifelong career fat guy.
Who the hell would put beet on a burger?
You'd be surprised.
A slice of beet? Cold beet.
I'm sure they said that about pineapple on pizza. That should be fire.
Tomato, or they got tomato too and the beet.
That's true. I think the beet
in replace of the tomato. That's probably what it is.
You think?
It's a sweet tomato. I don't even fuck with tomatoes. But maybe a beet. Hold up.
I would have to Google it. I don't want to pull out my phone. But anyway,
we're gonna drop it here for them. You're good. You're good.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But if it doesn't have the tomato, you guys are.
All right. So,
I'm just kidding, guys.
As an artist, I don't know if other artists are as curious about good directors and photographers and videographers in general, and just cinematic people, but I'm really curious of the psychology, especially when they used to make music. So your case is really unique. Before you started doing the camera work and the filmography work, you were making music, but it wasn't even no gangster rap. You were on tour performing. It's pop music. Well, what is it exactly? Because I haven't really heard much of it. It's like
no, it doesn't. You can't even find none of it. I mean, you can probably find some shit here and there. Like I said, these were just like shitty tours down Florida and Georgia, in South Carolina.
You used to know how to play guitar, so did you?
I play guitar. I still play. Yeah, I play guitar and I sang. Back in those days, it was like I was either in one band that I had gone on a tour with. I was the guitarist, and then another one, I was the singer, which was like kind of like hardcore music.
Well, you said you were doing hardcore screamo. Okay, that's
kind of
that was one era.
Angsty teen shit.
Angsty teen shit, but positive. And like you said before, you were doing creative shit, like getting into stories. Like you would say, like talk about history or some shit like that.
History.
Like you would hear different shit in history, and you'd make it into a song, or like what was the type of lyricism that you were like? How are you approaching the song music? Because a lot of people just rap about their life, write songs about life.
I mean, nah. I even like on the hardcore shit, like you know what I mean, like even the punk rock shit. Like I was talking about like getting money, getting girls and trapping and like which I thought was like which I thought was cool in rock because nobody was doing that. You know what I mean? At that time, everyone's kind of like, my heart is on the rain, whatever, like some shit like that. And I'd be singing like some melodies, but I'd be like, we flip and break, like whatever. I was just saying some stupid shit, but like whatever, bro. It's not even that deep. I don't even want to talk about it. That's why I don't do that anymore. I wasn't Drake. That's why I gave it up and I do music now. I mean, I do videos and stuff now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it was fun at the time. It was therapeutic to write music at that time in my life, and it was something I wanted to do. And eventually and thankfully, you have to, as a musician, separate the ego and go, damn, if I'm getting more attention for doing this type of stuff, you know, maybe I'm not, you know what I mean? Maybe even though I've spent my whole life thinking I was supposed to be this thing, maybe it's okay to be, you know, this other thing, or to lean into this other thing to, you know, make ends meet, and I still get that creative satisfaction, which I do, and I still get to be around the world of musicians, you know, because I'm constantly around musicians. So on that end, you know, I feel satisfied. I still get to watch the creative process, and I still create on my own, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still work and I still write music. Like, I'm always going to be a musician, but I'm also maneuvering in a way where I'm just a creator, bro. Like, I never want to be just one thing, you know. I do a lot of things, man. I like to create. I like to be able to provide something tangible, and that's it.
You come back from the stint in the Navy serving for our country. You immediately go into work. That's when you started doing when you pick up the parts consultant job.
I mean, there was a side quest. I worked at Tamiami Airport for a while.
But it's that era that ends up into the.
It ends up in that era.
Gotcha.
I started playing music again, though. You know what I mean? I was just doing things. I was just, you know, like, I got back from the military. I was kind of drifting for a bit.
So first movie is Little Penny, but before you do Little Penny,
What? Little Penny?
Little Penny,
The Lucky Penny?
Lucky Penny, Little Penny.
The first movie, The Lucky Penny.
The Lucky Penny, yes.
Wow.
Penny.
Yeah. Yes, the very first short film I ever did, and it's terrible. It's just like, it wasn't released in no film circuits. It was just something I did because it was like, I was like, oh, I want to, you know, create something. I want to be able to see what this process is of, you know, picking up a camera, writing a story, getting the friends to act in it, shooting it, editing it. Like, I wanted to feel that whole process from front to end. So I wrote this crappy story called The Lucky Penny, where a guy picks up a penny, and guess what? Oh, plot twist. A bunch of bad things happen to him. The penny's not lucky. And, yeah, but yes, that was the first thing I ever did as, like, I was like, okay, you know, I have a camera. What can I do now? And I wrote this, and I shot this stupid little short film called The Lucky Penny. Years before my daughter, whose name is Penelope, was born, by the way, which is crazy.
When was the last time you watched it? Did you watch it when you shared it with me? When I asked you to share it with me?
I was scared. I watched some of it. I think I put on the last scene because I liked the song at the end. I liked it, but yeah, I watched some of it. It was one year.
Isn't it crazy to see?
It had been years before you had mentioned it to me, which blew my mind. Nardwar over here, Cuban Nardwar.
Hey, that film, we're supposed to, you know, blow your mind. No Diddy. Isn't it crazy to see how much Wynwood's changed?
Insane, man. Insane.
That tripped me out with that video because I remember clearly.
I mean, but we grew up in the era of Miami where Wynwood wasn't Wynwood. You feel me? Like, Wynwood was just another beast. You know,
like part of Midtown.
Yeah, like, you know, some of the rappers on my dad's label were taking me at a very young age out to Wynwood, and it wasn't, you know, to shoot no art. So it was, you know, it was crazy.
And did you do were you playing the guitar on the score for Lucky Penny?
That is actually my friends Enrique Galan, John Curry, and myself. We wrote the thing. Yeah, they helped me out though.
Dope. And before you did that, were you already doing things with the camera, or you just went straight into that? Because believe it or not, it's a full production. Like, that's a movie. Like,
I don't think so.
It's a short film.
It was definitely a weird little experiment, but you know, I'm proud of it. In the sense of, like, you know, in the sense of, like, it was just fun to do. It was just like, yo, like, that was the first time I was like, oh, I had this idea. And I saw it through from point A to point B, and it just felt good to have that, like, you know what I mean? If it was good or not, like, regardless of, you know, subjectively, if the product itself was good, it felt good to have a product where I was like, yo, I figured it out. I figured out something I had never done before, and I figured out a bunch of different aspects to make sure to get it done, and I got it done, regardless or not if the product was, you know, I look back on it and I kind of cringe, but you know what I'm saying?
But you were already kind of messing with the camera. You were already doing some type of content.
I mean, I always just love the idea of it, and yeah, that was the first time.
Did you? So you were handy, like, when you did videos for yourself, when you were, like, in the band and stuff. Did you guys?
I was in a band after I got back from the military, and then, like, when right before I started doing the Dad Filmed It thing, I felt real inspired. Shout out Twelveland. I saw this video that this artist from Miami, Florida did called from this artist named Twelveland. And I saw it, and I was just like, wow, it's cinema. But it felt, like, very artistic. I think it was for Star, what's it? Star Baby, I think. Or Star Boy or Star. I have to Google it, and I'm so sorry for butchering that. But
we'll drop it here for them. Don't worry.
12 has a song called "Starting" with the word "star" in it, and that video was just so fucking cool. And I remember thinking to myself, damn, I want to film a video like that. And I could just tell that it was still, like, home done. You know what I mean? But he had an eye for it, and I realized that if I had to try to apply what I thought was cool in the way that I was doing it, and I did, and sure enough, like, I started getting movement. Sure enough, and then one day I actually got invited to film the music video for Loyal by 12lin. I got to shoot the behind the scenes for it, and I actually got to meet him, but he had no idea. And it wasn't actually till today that I admitted that, it was actually like one of the main reasons I kind of like picked up the camera for real was like, because I saw this music video by 12lin, and I was like, damn, I want to do something like he's putting on for, like, I felt like the Miami culture watching it, and I was like, damn, I need to like try to do something like that where I can create something on that front. And so I started doing it for my band, and then I was like, and then rappers, whatever, my daughter was born, I started doing all these crazy videos of my daughter just to practice it by myself, not for any real reason. And then eventually rappers and friends would hit me up to make art for them, and I started getting paid for it, and it just started growing from there.
And you actually blew my mind. You told me this before we did the pod. Little Penny is, I thought your Little Penny was named after your Lucky Penny. I keep saying Little Penny. What is going on here? Lucky Penny is named. I thought it was named after your daughter, but it's not.
No, my daughter wasn't even born. I think that was made like 8 years before my daughter was born.
That's crazy.
And it was just a coincidence when I didn't even think about it. I forgot that I even made that fucking film. I didn't remember that you made her? Oh, yeah, really? Bro. I didn't even consider even like that. That was a memory that I like, dug in a treasure chest somewhere, and it wasn't brought out until you found it, and I was just like, how does this guy know about this film?
Do you believe in luck?
In luck?
Yeah, in general?
Absolutely, yeah. I believe that there's lucky moments.
So you really pick up a penny if you see it, like, find a penny, pick it up?
No, it's not for the luck. I don't pick it up for the luck. I pick it up because my grandfather, rest in peace, if he would say, pick up a penny, because if you walk by and you don't pick it up, you're telling the universe you don't want money.
Wow, that's dope. I like that a lot. That's really cool.
So that's why I pick up pennies.
Shout out Willow. RP.
But, you always got to have hand sanitizer readily.
Facts. That's great point. Great dad advice. And shout out Chrome Jones.
Shout out Chrome Jones. The first music video I ever did was Chrome Jones 9951. He was the first rapper that ever shot me bread and was like, yo, I fuck with your art, man. You shoot me a music video, I got some money for you. And I was like, all right, please, yeah, sure, absolutely. That sounds great. You're gonna pay me to make, like, to shoot, like, to do what I like to do? Oh my God, like, are you sure? You gonna pay me that amount? I thought it was like, to me, it was like, what? He was like, I got you, dog. Come on. When you gonna shoot? And then, like, it was just always love, though. He always showed me love. He always saw the talent. He recognized it. And I thank you for that. Shout out Chrome Jones.
Oh, yeah. And so when I had a conversation with Derek G, he had a good point about how behind the scenes, the lost art nowadays. Like, you don't see a lot of behind the scenes, and, like, people don't care about that nowadays. Everybody's just trying to film their own content of the content instead of, like, behind the scenes. Is there anything else you think that's, like, a lost art nowadays, like with film, maybe making videos, or just, behind the camera in general? Like, what do you, is there something you think that's like, you're tripping out that the game is missing?
I don't. I think, I mean, I'm not really like, I don't have this like old school perspective on shit where I'm like, damn, you know what, this and that. Like, because right now it's 2025. If you want to do something, you know what I mean, then you do it. Like, if you want to see something, you want to see behind the scenes, then make sure you got somebody filming behind the scenes, and then edit it in the way that you want to edit it. Right. You know what I mean? And I'm not hating on that. Like, I get it. I get what he's saying. Respect to him. Shout out Derek G, legend, South Florida. Like, 305.
He said that. He said he's strict on the people on set now because of that. Because people would be on set supposed to get BTS, and they're not. They're and
oh yeah. Well, I have that issue all the time. I got people in my DMs that be begging me to come out to the shoots that I do, and I give them the opportunity, and I don't even see like an ounce of the hunger that I had when I was doing behind the scenes video, and they're out there just looking for clout, or just like out there thinking that they're cool in the moment because they're in the room or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, man, like, I read somewhere recently that like people aren't even getting hired off talent anymore. It's just the ability to execute and know that you're going to be able to do it and they can count on you. And that enough, and moving with pure intentions, and not moving because you're trying to like one up yourself or level up your career, but you're doing stuff the right way, and and you just care about the final product. And I think that's rare. So like that's what I'm trying to do. And if there's any lost art, I feel like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and make that shit if I want to see it. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at some of my music videos, I miss old school MTV like styled, like I'm talking about when the music video era. I'm not saying that it was dead, but it was just like it had a different vibe, bro. When you would see a Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott, music video, it just felt different. When you would see certain type of Smashing Pumpkins, Tonight, and you're seeing these creative processes and flow, and having and at that time it was a platform like MTV when it was still pure, not reality shows. That was a long time ago. Showcasing it. And I remember feeling really inspired by watching these artists and seeing where they're coming, and I still do. I think that the creative industry is just on the up and up and up, and when people are just pushing and pushing in the envelope, and I'm so happy to be such a small name in a big ocean, because I don't think there's anything wrong. I think, like, man, like, the shit you want to do, like, the knowledge is out there, so go do it. And if you want to see it, then go ahead and make it. And I'm real, influenced by all that old school MTV shit, so I apply it to my thing. I like rough edits. I'm not like, but that's just me, right? But I can still accomplish perfectly cinematic, clean cut, videos. But me personally, if you're asking me for my personal style, I like dirty shit. I like weird edits. I like things that aren't perfect. I like to see the imperfections. I like to see almost like crappily executed high level shit. Like somebody that was trying to that overshoots what they're capable of doing, but you see the intention and they're still able to execute in a certain way, but you see that they like that. I like those imperfections. I think that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even trying to date no 10s. You feel me? I don't want no fucking Carmen, like, whatever the perfect 10. I like imperfect. I like real life.
The perfect imperfection.
You feel me? Like, I like juxtapositions, and I like grime, and I like beauty too. I like it all, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta have it all. You have to, opposites. And
I don't even know what the question was. I feel like I went on a tangent. This podcast is gonna suck. I failed you guys. I've been just talking shit.
Well, sucking's in the eye of the person getting sucked.
Oh, well, it's a classic Diddy quote.
Yeah, right. So what was it like on set for Static? That was is that your first time linking up with like the Alba 6, like clicking all them boys?
This fucking guy is name dropping the exact videos. The first time, yes, directly. You're good, bro. You're
fact,
good.
I think that might have been the first time I physically crossed paths with you, because my old boy was on set for that shit too.
Oh, so, yeah. I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, he was running.
I was doing that. I did behind the scenes.
First time I seen
you. Yeah,
you.
man. Shout out Giancarlo Lafredo. Shout out Julian Yuri, the goats of this shit. They're original creative directors of All But Six, and as far as like bringing out this vision, that some of our homegrown Miami All But Six favorite artists are from, and what they do. So shout out Giancarlo Lafredo, Julian Yuri. Y'all are huge inspirations for the city, and I hope that you guys just keep getting bigger and bigger. I miss y'all. We need to go have a drink soon. But yes, Giancarlo Lafredo put me on to that music video to shoot behind the scenes. I shot the behind the scenes. I did it with love. I threw a bunch of sauce on it. Puya saw it. He was really impressed by it, and he asked, man, who shot that video? He reached out to me to shoot a music video, and I didn't want to overstep any boundaries, because without Giancarlo Lafredo or Julian Yuri, I wouldn't have even been in that room. So when he reached out to me directly, I made sure to reach out to Giancarlo Lafredo and ask him for his blessing, if he felt it was cool. That
real last move. That's dope.
He did. He called Puya, and he was like, yo, if there's one dude, you should be fucking with, it's this dude. So he put me on too. So I love you, I love you forever for that, my bro. And we still, to this day, we've been building and doing crazy big stuff. And he was the one that kind of put me on. And then from there, me and Puya, we linked up, and we did the 5-6 music video.
That was the first one?
That was the first music video we did together.
Huge. Just crossed
that was the first music video I think I got on YouTube that got over 1 million views.
Wow.
And so thank you, Puya, for letting me be a part of that. And I love y'all forever, bro. Y'all my brothers for real.
Real shit. One of the biggest names to come out of South Florida. Lifelong kid. I'm sure you look at it the same way. We have our mainstream names. You got the Ross, the Pip, but Puya, he covered something for a lot of people that I think inspire and give hope to a lot of people to this day. That are
Puya, Mikey, Fat Nick, them boys are the fucking blueprint and the archetype of like what what I mean. Are the archetype of what a lot of your favorite, the big artists in that underground scene. They set that blueprint for what they're doing, and I'm happy that they're my friends and my brothers, and I thank you for putting me on, man. I love y'all.
Shouts to Space Ghost Perk too and Raider Clan.
Yeah, shout out all them boys. And what's the biggest differences between being a dog dad, a cat dad, and a human dad?
I get no respect being a cat dad, none whatsoever. I get a little more respect when I was a dog dad. I'm trying to get another dog now.
And what kind of dog? Do you have a specific one? Or
yeah, I would like to get a dachshund.
A dachshund.
Yeah, I want a little hot dog. They call me the Glizzy Gladiator.
Are you open to adopting one, or you want to get like a puppy?
Man, I'm open up to all. You're not gonna get me on camera saying I'm gonna fucking man. I'll adopt any baby. I love animals. I adopted my cat. You feel me? Like, but if I can find a random dachshund on the street, that'd be great.
What do you think I was getting on camera saying? There was a bad answer there.
I feel like no, like yeah. If I'm buying them from a fucking farm or something, I'm open to adopting. I'm open to anything. Absolutely.
Buying from a farm is bad.
I mean, I don't know. I don't actually know the politics. I know everyone's sensitive now.
Well,
So
you
I don't want
felt-
to say the wrong thing, bro.
but-
I don't want to say.
But you felt like that was wrong.
But I'm gonna tell
trying
you
to
what right now.
understand.
I will
Why
not
did you-
pay over $1,000 for a dachshund. I do not care. I went to places that are like $5,000. I saw dachshunds for $12,000. Nunca. You know what I could do with that type of money? No, I'm getting a dachshund for $1,000 if I find one, and if not, then I'll get a cute old one, you know, and let him live out his old years, you know, being annoyed by me, bro, and loving him with all my heart, and that's it. I don't know. I'm not.
Dachshund's a wiener dog, right?
A dachshund's a wiener dog. Yep.
Cool. Well, those are cuties.
Those are cuties. They're rambunctious. I used to have
I'm
one. when I
still
was a kid.
confused though. So
I had a golden doodle before that though.
I'm still confused though, and at 30 years old, I realized that when you're confused about something, just try to ask a question if you can to figure it out, so you don't have the anxiety of being confused later on.
Absolutely.
What made you feel like uncomfortable in that situation? Like buying, so you're saying, because right now there's like, oh, adopt not shop campaign, right? That's you're saying, so instead of buying from a farm, that's like the opposite of adopting.
Yeah, or like breeders. I don't know what the words for it
Oh,
is.
breeders! I got you.
Like
Okay,
I went to this really fancy
There's a
place up
negative-
in Kendall, you know,
I
that
understand.
it's a puppy mill, I guess, kind of thing, where they were trying to sell me a beautiful dog. They have the animals there are beautiful. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you know, but the price tags were like $5,000 to $12,000 each one, and I was like,
But
nah,
badass animals, yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know if they're badass. And then apparently I have homies that are like in the game that they actually breed, you know, like Frenchies, and they actually know it. But I don't know about this. I'm ignorant.
I don't understand. So there's
forgive
a
my
negative
ignorance.
connotation with this.
You know
I
what I mean?
get
There
it.
is negative. So I didn't want to say the wrong thing.
I didn't understand
But
that.
am I open to going to the pound? Absolutely. I'll go to the pound, and I say that wholeheartedly. I will go to the pound. I'll get the ugliest dog there. I'll take it home and love him, and I'll call him. I'll give him a human name like Greg. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit.
Greg, I mean,
Yeah, you know what I mean? Whatever.
I feel like you gotta name a dog though after you you can't just have a preordained name like, yeah, my dog's gonna be Rex, and then he looks like a fluffy.
Oh no, you gotta get to know her. You gotta look at them. You know what I mean? I named my
Right.
cat after I saw her. You know what I'm saying?
Real one. Unless they come with it. How do you feel about changing the name of the animal if it comes with a name already? Like it's already grown up.
Oh
a little
no.
bit? You
I
can't
mean,
do that, right?
No. Hold on. Like my cat was named something like, but I got my cat like at 9 months. I got her like.
Well, what's the name? Hold on. Yeah. What was your cat originally, and what'd you change it to?
I think her name was like Lulu, or
Oh.
like Lulu or something like that. And I changed it to Lilu Dallas Multipass Rodriguez.
Wow. It's
Well, it's
still,
because
it's still
she-
basically Lulu.
And I know you guys
Lulu's
think
like a nickname.
yeah, but it wasn't nothing about Lulu. It's because I looked at my cat. She had red hair and she had these green eyes. And there's an old film that I loved, a sci-fi film called The Fifth Element, starring Bruce Willis and Mia Djokovic. There's a famous line in that film where Mia Djokovic says, "Lilu Dallas Multipass," and like whatever. So I looked at this little cat and I saw her red hair. And Mila Djokovic, that movie, had red hair and green eyes. And I looked at my cat and her red hair and her green eyes. And I was like, Lilu Dallas Multipass. And then that was it.
I always see memes of that.
So
I gotta
that
watch
was
it
it.
now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, can you speak to the importance of daddy dates?
Daddy dates with your daughter or with your child?
What would be
daddy
the
date?
alternative?
Hey, bro, there's sugar daddies out here. You know what I mean? You don't know people. I don't know what you mean by that, dog. I
Okay,
don't-
yes,
It's
so
a
they're
broad.
not-
Hey, I'm a little guy in a big world, brother.
Yes,
I don't know.
bro.
Just to specify. Yeah, it's extremely important, man. You think I want to? You know, I'm trying to instill something pure with love regarding a female and male dynamic in my daughter, and I'm the first example and the one on the forefront of that. So it's really important for me to take her on dates and and just show her like love and show her friendship and humanity and kindness and and patience, and sometimes you might fall short here and there, but like you know what I mean, like the proof in the pudding is at the end of the day the love that they reciprocate back to you and their need for you in their life, you know what I mean. And I'm blessed enough to say that she I feel like she really loves me and she really needs me, and it's the same way in my life for her. Like I really love her and I really need her. So yeah, that's my best friend. I'm not trying to none of you little broke ass boys gonna impress her. I tell you, she already knows how to use chopsticks better than most of you ladies out there. I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Like my daughter's like elegant. She's like, she's cultured. She's been around the world. I've taken her with me to Scotland, to Ireland. She's been around, bro. So and she's been to all the nice places I can. I try to involve her as much as I can through any time that God or the universe blesses me with something good. I try to have her involved in it. You know what I mean? And I think it's just extremely important, man. Like I'm trying to break generational curses on this end. You feel me? So that my daughter has everything that I didn't have, and I feel like in that regard, I'm at peace. So yeah,
Real one. And so, what's the thought process as a great dad with like Santa Claus? Did you tell her early? Did you let her find out on herself?
I mean, we still haven't even had a talk.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
she's 9, bro. But I mean, I know she's got to like. I feel like she just like kind of like she wants to milk also. She's just such a sweet angel girl.
You think there's an aspect like that about it? Like, oh, Santa's gonna,
you know, I don't know. She's still trying to milk it. You feel me? But we ain't like. I haven't. Her mother hasn't had that conversation with me, you know what I mean, and regarding, you know, like about having that conversation with her or mentioning it to her. I feel like at 9, I was kind of aware at that point, or I had an opinion anyway. I don't. She's kind of, and I really can't say right now. I don't want to speak for her. So,
because that's like a canon moment in childhood.
It is, man. That's a big moment, man.
I think my mom had me fooled for a little bit too late. I can't remember put an exact age on it, but I think like a lot of my friends were like, I'm not openly talking about it, but I would like hear kind of like in the rumblings of it not being real, and I'd be like, I'd kind of not want to admit it. I'd be like, yeah, right.
I was like, I think I remember defending him one time. Like it was like first or second
Real
grade.
shit.
I was like,
I think I might have done that.
I was like, how could you even say that?
Are you serious?
Are you joking me right now? Oh my god, idiot.
Yeah, but that's a crazy moment. Then you find the gifts or something happens. So know of many great men that are, you know, not great fathers, but every father is a great man. That's a good quote that I wrote down here on my notes here of questions. That wasn't even a question. So
what is it? The Live, Laugh, Love segment?
Type shit. Yeah, this got sentimental. Do you favorite Seinfeld episodes?
I would say Soup Nazi. It's
Soup
a classic.
Nazi?
Yeah, it's like this episode where Seinfeld. I mean, he would walk in trying to
No
get
soup
some
for you.
Yeah, no soup for you. But
That's the Soup Nazi episode.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
That's a classic. Is Seinfeld the greatest show? Like is that
Absolutely
that your
not. Absolutely not.
What's one for you?
One of the greatest TV shows.
Yeah. Well, I guess we want to stick with sitcoms, or like, do you have a greatest TV show? Like,
if we're like like series, I would say one of the greatest comedy series ever made was Barry on HBO recently.
Barry's fire. Ending was kind of crazy, but you know, like, how do you end that show?
I think that was one of the greatest comedy series ever. I think that's what I said. Like, you know, when you're like, oh, I think this style of shit is dead, blah blah blah. Like, I didn't even know that. Like, I just saw White Lotus, the first season. Speaking of that, you know, True Detective.
I haven't seen it yet.
I would say the greatest, one of the greatest TV shows, season 1 of anything was True Detective season 1.
Damn, really? A lot of people talk about it. I gotta watch
True Detective season 1 with Woody
Matthew
Harrelson.
McConaughey, right?
Matthew McConaughey was absolutely just mind-bendingly good. You know, I really fuck with this other series on Amazon Prime, I believe. It's called 000. That's another really good one. There's another series. I really love this. Bro, I love.
What about foreign shit? Talk to me what's a dope foreign movie for me to check out that I have.
Dope foreign movie. Are we talking like I don't know?
On your artsy shit. On my
artsy shit, I would say if you want to get real artsy, I would say Jean-Luc Godard, Masculine Feminine, is an absolute banger. It was in the French New Wave era of '60s French filmmaking, cinema, and it was just like these group of fucking dudes that would review movies. Mm-hmm. They got tired of reviewing the movies because they said that all the movies had the same formula. So they realized, because it was super expensive to be able to have cameras back in the 60s or back in those days, you know what I mean? So they could put money together or something like that, and they bought this one camera, and they would use the camera and go film out on the street, and they would go make films the way that they wanted to see, which were completely non-linear in editing, just real artsy, like back and forth shit. And that's like something that kind of inspired me early on, was just that early wave of French New Wave cinema editing. Yeah, so that's a good one. Amelie is a great, like, you know, like love story kind of thing. Amelie. I mean, there's just so many great cinemas. I would throw out Gomorrah is one of my favorite Italian films ever made. Gomorrah is just absolute cinema. There's a lot. There's just so many films, you know. There's just so many. It's just a broad. I really love a lot of the, you know, a lot of stuff coming out of South Korea. A lot of South Korean films are great.
What do you think? What comes to mind when you say that? Was there like a big mainstream like South Korea film that everybody?
No, I think like I Saw the Devil, South Korean. That was a fucking gnarly ass film. There's a lot of just a lot of weird shit, a lot of crazy shit. Let me see.
And what's The Giving Tree about? Why are you looking at me like that?
What? Wait a minute. What the fuck? How do you know about The Giving Tree? How do you know that I know? Like, how do you know that that's my, like, what? How do you know that?
Your dad filmed it. We're supposed to know. I appreciate that, alley-oop. These moments are awesome.
The Giving Tree is one of the greatest books ever written by Shel Silverstein. Rest in peace. I don't know if he was a good guy or not, so I don't know. You know, he might have been.
I'm about to say Shell's a guy.
His name is Shel Silverstein. Shel Silverstein.
Shell, I would think that's a girl. If I
and it was actually this crazy looking dude. So I don't know the story, but he did write this absolutely phenomenal book called The Giving Tree, and it reminds me a lot of just like the sacrificial love that a parent gives to, you know what I mean, their kid, and what somebody would do when you really love somebody. And I think it's one of the most beautiful kids books ever written.
Wow. And you read this when
I was a child.
As a kid. Wow. So you read this. Who gave you this book? You just pulled it out? Like, where's?
I might have stole it from a library when I was like in second grade. I don't know. My grandmother had it. I remember reading it at home and stuff.
In the crib. And
I remember I was a big reader. Yeah, my mom was actually. Are you asking me this because it's just like questions like random, or you actually know about this?
The Giving Tree, I knew about it obviously, but asking you about you being a reader, that's just because at 12 years old, most kids are eating shit, having fun, playing games. Like not everybody's stealing books to read. So.
Shout out my mom. My mom really forced me to read books, and it wasn't even forcing. I loved reading books, but she would just like she was like a big.
Did she read them with you? Or was it like?
I mean, she wasn't reading them to me. Like I was always really good at English and reading them, but she would definitely recommend
talk
me.
To you about the book, like read this so we could like.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't have no book club or nothing, but she was just like, you need to read, and like instead of like watching TV, like I would be reading like books and stuff. You know what I mean? And like
a parent would say you need to do exercise, you need to play sports,
and then she would drop me out of the library type shit, and I would just be there like like trying to. But I've always been a knowledge seeker. I've always wanted to learn, and I think that's one of the greatest gifts that if you're capable of doing it is fucking seeking knowledge and using it as a tangible thing to change your and other people's lives for the better. Because anything you want to learn and anything you can do is like literally there's a blueprint for it. Someone's done it, and you can research it because it's 2025. So stop being lazy. Complacency is death.
Hell yeah! And is there any update with the Creative Cowboys guy with the S handle? Did you update on that yet?
Shout out Creative Cowboys, me and the boys. Nah, man, we ain't. We're all just kind of like we're just kind of pursuing different things right now. But we're all brothers. We're always hanging out. So like the Instagram handle and having it as an official thing isn't like we're not tripping on that right now. We all got like we just building.
Okay, still building. Okay.
Yeah, we all just working individually.
And talk to us about the podcast. So you guys are like at this time of filming, we're 9 episodes deep with the Albo 6 podcast. 8 episodes.
We're 14 episodes
14, yeah.
AB6 podcast. Shout out you guys. I'm one of the producers on there. I do all the creative segments and run it. Doing all the. I'm basically the guy behind the scenes running it as it's happening because we do shoot it live, which is it's quite a task.
Yeah,
it's hard, and we have like a bunch of different segments happening, like a game show type stuff. So it's a lot of different, and it hasn't been perfect, and we're getting better every day, But I'm super grateful for it. We're really trying to change the game. No jumper. That's just dead. No, that doesn't call it the culture anymore. So we're really trying to find like our niche and our calling in that area. Where like we're to the underground where we can be a fun and safe space where musicians can go talk to musicians and artists can go talk to artists and bring back something that's real and relevant to the culture, and we're definitely on the path to that, and I hope that we can be that, and that's definitely the goal.
Hell yeah. And then I have the segment called Shoot Your Shot, where you're allowed to shoot your shot to anybody you'd like to work with. And, you do so much, whether it's on on the podcast, whether it's something with the video tip. Is there anybody you'd like to make a video for? Maybe do something cinematic with. Maybe any actors you'd like to do like a skit with. Maybe any comics, anything like that.
That's a good question. I would love to work with Harmony Korine. I would love to do like some type of series. I would love to do a short series on Miami, and I would love to work with Harmony Korine in developing something like that where it's like Gummo meets South Florida.
Nice, yeah, that's great. And what's one thing you would tell yourself 20 years from now, like the 20-year-old version, 20 years from now? So you're 38, so 48, 58. Dad filmed it, and one thing you'd tell 8-year-old dad filmed it?
One thing I would tell 58-year-old dad filmed it?
Yeah.
Keep working out and eating healthy, bro. You're going to have a heart attack any day. You've lived a crazy life, Poppy. Keep got that fitness up. And I would tell 8-year-old dad filmed it. start doing the video stuff way earlier, dude. Start learning processes way earlier. You started doing this stuff in your 30s, you know. So like, if you started way earlier, you'd probably found, you know, I would hope that you would be able to find the success that I'm trying to achieve way sooner, and everything's gonna be all right, brother. Don't be a little bitch.
Hell yeah. And bro, at the end of every episode, we play the big 3 draft, like we mentioned, full circle moments at the beginning of the episode. This is the natural segue here. We're gonna draft TV dads, best TV dads. We gotta go one by one, just in case, you know, we could steal any of each other's picks. You know, you could pick somebody I had in mind, vice versa. What's the number 1 TV dad you would pick?
Number 1 TV dad, and it ain't changing for me, is Bluey. Bluey's dad.
Bluey's the cartoon?
The little fucking the blue cartoon. The blue dad. Does it have to be a human? You want it to be a human?
No, that's great. That's awesome.
I think
first you're educating me. I don't know Bluey had a parent, but
yeah, Bluey's a little blue dog, and the show is actually based around the things that the dad does for the Bluey, which is the main character.
Is it a dog dad or an
it's
animal
a dog
dad?
dad? Yeah, it's a dog
like
dad. Yeah, they're dogs. They're dogs. They're like little blue dogs, and the dad is like really. He's really kind and sweet, and he's considerate. And the show itself, the writing, I think, is genius. And I, as an adult, like I'm not watching Bluey, like, you know what I mean, like on my downtime. But I would, as an adult, like it doesn't bother me if it's not like it's funny, and like the writing is real pure, and the message in it is great. So I would say Bluey's dad is the number 1 TV dad. But number 2, or what's your number 1?
We'll go one by one. So
right.
one, then I'm gonna take him off the board. Although it's Uncle Phil, but I think Uncle Phil's it's a lot of people's dads growing up. He's even that's technically, you know, his whole thing.
Yeah, but look how fucked up Will Smith came out. So hey, you fucked up.
Well,
comedy. All right, just kidding. All right.
Shout out, Will. If you're listening, we know you are. All right. Well, who's number 2? Who you got for number 2?
Number 2. I would say Tony Soprano.
Nice. That's a crazy dad. That's a good one.
But he fucks shit up for you. You know what I'm saying?
I like it. Damn. Oh, you know who I like, man? And it's ironic because I always fuck 12, but you know who's a cool dad? Officer Winslow. He was
Officer Winslow, bro, was I think even more than Uncle Phil, man. I liked Officer Winslow. God, you just be upset. Like I related to his rage.
He was chill, and like he was always like good hearted, and like I ain't gonna lie, but he looks like he'd get some good hugs. You know, as a kid growing up, you know, I feel like Officer Winslow, like even though it's fuck 12, but you know, it's
nah, man, it ain't always fuck. I don't want. Right, let's not be extremists on any front.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Fact.
But you know, I would say that my number 3, bro. Who really gave a fuck? I just like dads that give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like Tony Soprano gave a fuck. He might have not been a perfect dad. Like there's a lot of messed up things, but he cared. You know what I mean? Like those kids, they lived under that whole house. Like their school was paid for. Like, you know what I mean? Regardless of anything, like those kids were taken care of. They might have some little traumas here and there, but whatever.
No,
bro.
and listen, one thing that's underrated.
But he cared, bro. He was a sociopath for everybody else, but he gave a fuck.
And
about
the
his
two
2
paths
kids.
never crossed. That's the one thing that's big about the Sopranos and Tony Soprano specifically. The 2 worlds never intertwined. Maybe you could argue depending on what you think the ending was, but it was always the mob life, and then it was always the family
like
life.
I said, bro, if you if you just care in life, bro, you're gonna stand out way more than a whole bunch of other people. Kids can tell when you just care, bro. You know what I mean? If it's not perfect, it's not perfect. You know, but and my mom wasn't perfect, but I know my mom cared, and I knew my mom loved. You know what I'm saying? So I think Tony Soprano loved his kids, maybe. You know what I mean? Whatever. But number 3, I would say, fuck, man, that's a hard one, bro.
You guys are too young, though. Pepe Peña's the Cuban. ¿Qué pasa USA?
¿Qué pasa USA?
Oh, that's the dad. That's the show Manolo was on, right?
Manolo was his son.
Oh, you got imagine. I don't want to reveal it's ironic. I've thought about this draft before, and my number 1 pick, I haven't said him yet, so I don't want to give him out because he's about to.
Malcolm in the Middle's dad.
That's a good dad. Wow. Ironically, Walter White's a terrible dad, but that's a good dad. And they're played by the same guy, but that's actually a cool dad. What was supposed to be our number pick is Danny Tanner, bro. I think Danny Tanner's a great dad, bro.
Tanner was bro. I take it back. I take it.
That's so bad. You got Tony Soprano.
All right, I would take Danny Tanner or even over Tony Soprano, bro. Danny Tanner, listen,
that was
girl dad. He rocked it, bro. He did, and he moved with good intention.
By himself too. With
the
mom dies. Like I didn't even understand that part of the storyline until like I was a little bit older and I stopped watching Full. So I was like, where's the mom, man? Somebody told me you didn't know she died. They revealed that in the first episode, but you don't watch that shit in order. You know, you kind of just
rest in peace, Bob Saget.
Right, rest in peace, Bob Saget, man. And one message before we get out of here, man. One message you say to all the creatives out there, people struggling through life, or just any message in general. Doesn't have to be so deep. You've had some deep moments already.
Complacency is death. Keep your head on a swivel. If you want to do something to research it, it's really not difficult. Use Google, use ChatGPT. Anything you want to do, you can literally do it and research and find a way to do it. So I hope you do. Have a great night.
Damn, we didn't plug Narco Babies. You want to plug that yet?
I got some. I'm working on this little project on music. I'm trying to bring back this Miami bass freestyle, fun, back in the day type vibes. Just real good energy stuff. And it's called Narco Babies Volume 1. And we're about like a month or two out, And I don't want to say too much on it because I don't got that product so finalized. But I appreciate you bringing it up.
Narco Babies on THC coming soon. But right now we got that filmed it. And thank y'all for tuning in.
Appreciate you.
Peace.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, my Jeezy.
Sliding in the studio, my album coming soon. Until we get this rap money, trap gon' have to boom. These bricks and these keys and these zips is what we'll do. If you need some fire, I can see you off the June.